After the insane property price increase of 2020 with 9.6% after inflation and 14.2% after inflation in 2021, Postbank released a new map with the best real estate locations in Germany until 2030. Will properties almost double in value if the 2020 trend continues, or even rise by 142% if the 2021 trend continues, both after inflation by the way? That's what we're gonna find out in this episode of the GermanReal.Estate Blog. Spoiler alert, Postbank barely projects a 2% increase in property value until 2030 for the best locations in Germany. How is that even possible, you might ask? We think those numbers are a little low as well, but in order to understand them, let's recap how real estate was in the 2010s and how it started in the 2020s. And what might that mean for 2030 and beyond that. If you only want to see the map with the best real estate locations until 2030 without any context to it, then you can skip to the next part in the timeline or visit our blog post on our website GermanReal.Estate that is linked in the description. I think the context helps to understand the 2030 numbers, and it will also help you to determine in which location you might want to invest in right now. The 2010s started right after the global financial crisis. The economy was booming, which means that the incomes of people were rising as well. Earning more money is great because you also have more money now that you can invest. But what the f do you actually want to invest in if interest rates all over the world are at zero? That's why the stock market went to the moon. The crypto market went to the moon. The real estate market went to the moon as well. Here's the German house pricing index to prove my point. Housing prices almost doubled since the financial crisis. There are also other reasons why property prices increased so much that we discuss in other videos. If you want to dig a little deeper, let's just summarize the 2010s that when the economy is doing great, real estate is doing great as well. What about the 2020s? Well, it didn't start that well with the pandemic, did it? But actually, if you remember the two Postbank maps from the beginning, the pandemic didn't do any harm to the German real estate market. The stock market, yeah, that dropped significantly because it reacts to news fast, but the real estate market is way too slow to react to these short-term events. In 2021, the issue started to become a little too much even for the resilient real estate market. Inflation started to rise from 0% to the 2% inflation target of our European Central Bank to 5% to more than 10% this October, leading central banks around the world to increase interest rates in response to the high inflation. Over the last 2 years, interest rates for real estate financing increased from about 0.5% to 4%. Insane. And this year, of course, Russia invaded Ukraine in February, making inflation and the economy even worse. So the 2020s definitely didn't have the greatest start for rising real estate prices. And it seems that the party of the 2010s is over for now. Which doesn't mean that the bubble is gonna burst and the real estate market is going to crash. But that's a topic for a different video. Now that we have some perspective of the real estate market over the last 10 years, let's project it to the next 10 years and see what Postbank has come up with. I still think the growth projections are too low, but we'll come to my analysis later on. Here are the best locations to invest in Germany until 2030. Looks pretty red, and yes, that's bad, because all red areas are falling in value until 2030. After inflation, that is. So they could rise in nominal value, but realistically property prices are falling in the red areas. And in the green and dark green areas, property prices are rising by the enormous amount of 1% per year.
Wow!
And 4 out of the top 5 locations from Postbank are in or around Munich, with close to 2% growth per year. It's actually not just Postbank, it's also the Hamburg Institute of International Economics, HWWI, that helped create that map. What do you think about these growth rates that you're seeing here? Before I'll tell you my personal opinion about these property price projections, you can stop the video right here and think about it yourself for a little bit. Let's take the example of our capital Berlin. Prime A location that has become more and more expensive over the years. So expensive in fact that people start buying properties in the surrounding areas of Berlin. Berlin itself in dark green and the areas around it also in green. I can agree with the map here. Same for Munich, Stuttgart, Frankfurt or Hamburg. But what about Düsseldorf, which is currently the most affordable A location in Germany? Is it really realistic that property prices around Düsseldorf are falling? We certainly don't think so. That's why we issued our first real estate security token in a city near Düsseldorf. Check out our website GermanReal.Estate if you're interested to invest there. And the most extreme, where I simply cannot agree with the map, is the triangle of Leipzig, Dresden and Chemnitz. This region experienced an incredible growth over the last years, and there's no indication that this will stop anytime soon. Hopefully. If you guys are still interested in the content that we put out there, I'm still making YouTube in 2030. I'd love to make a video 8 years from now to see how things have really played out. And that's why I'm just gonna say it publicly here for my future self to react on that. Real estate in Germany will experience at least double the growth rates what Postbank is projecting with this map. I'll see you in 8 years to see who was right.